Huho wo e saki baka si lek en hil mol molok iwash me mali hul nak alamu.
Long, long ago,
Was jo.
our ancient people, the Molukiwash, lived only on the islands off the coast of what we now call California. And times were very good then. Our people lived a
Hiku
long time.
mok e si deep e hul kuk o. Ohui, ohui.
Ik mem die hooi. Ik mem die hooi. Ik mem die hooi. Alakooi, 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 alakooi. Ik mem die.
Ancient stories tell of a time when Chumash people lived only on the islands off the coast of Southern California. On September 8, 2001, at 3:45 in the morning, the tomol, Elye'wun, a traditional Chumash plank canoe, was launched from Channel Islands Harbor by the Chumash Maritime Association. It was the first time since 1834 that Chumash people had returned as a community to the village of Swaxil on the island of Limu, now known as Santa Cruz Island.
Shimawish atipak shimawish.
My love is for the earth and for the ocean, and for traditional people to reconnect themselves to their homelands, to the habitats where they belong, is the work of my heart, and so important. We can't ever separate ourselves from the knowledge of being part of the earth and the ocean. We're never not part of it. We're never not part of nature. But the only way we can understand how to be well, how to heal ourselves, how to heal the earth and the ocean, is to go and do something there. And that lesson, and all those lessons that are connected directly to our habitat, are at the heart of our work.
While the crew prepared with prayers for the historic crossing, Chumash families already gathered at Swaxil were also praying for their safe journey.
Okay, it's going to be Alan, seat 1. Bert's going to go 2. Dennis 3. Reggie, then I. Paddlers, get ready.
The sandbags placed in the tomol for ballast were a reminder of the crew's inner ballast, the balance learned from the spiritual and cultural values that would sustain them on the long journey back to their island homeland.
When we started early in the morning and our crew started to cross into the darkness, we were visited by many of our relatives.
In the pre-dawn darkness, the crews on the support boats Just Love and Santu keep track of Elye'wun by radar and by the bobbing of the small signal light strapped to a pole on the tomol.
Crossing into the channel in darkness was something like crossing into one's memory.
I think some of the most touching moments were when it was still dark and there was just a little light on the tomol. We had a special thing rigged up to have this light and also to have a way for the radar to track her. Sometimes we could see that little light out over the darkness, and that was all we could see.
Sunrise, 6:42. The first tomol crew has paddled across choppy waters through 3 to 4 foot swells. Support crew and other tomol paddlers on the Just Love sing the sunrise song to the tomol crew, who raise their paddles in salute to the new day.
Iye kulu mishup. Kasi mespi hul mesmu hil wistoyo. Hil skamin his ips Elye'wun. Hil skamin his anak naswash.
The 11-mile channel crossing in open ocean from the mainland to the eastern end of Anyapak, now called Anacapa Island, takes most of the morning. Near the eastern end of Anyapak is the southbound shipping lane. The support boats, captained by Ed Casano of the Santa Barbara Maritime Museum and Matt Kelly of Channel Islands National Marine Sanctuary, alert all nearby vessels, and the paddlers cross the strong current of the shipping lane safely.
There were times when we were in perfect unison, everyone following the stroke of the lead paddler, and the paddles hitting the water at the same time, coming out and going back in the water at the same time. That feeling of teamwork and unity, it makes you feel good, and you feel good about yourself.
Along the way, they encounter the islander en route to Limu, with several Chumash families on board. Chumash people on the Just Love and Chumash people on the islander sing to each other across the water while Elye'wun and her crew paddle close enough to salute the people. As Elye'wun leaves Anyapak for the big island of Limu, the wind switches to a westerly direction, opposing the tidal current, creating steep waves out of the 3 to 5 foot swells. A slow leak in one of the planks of the canoe causes Elye'wun to take on water so fast that at times 3 paddlers must bail at once.
It was very scary also because knowing, from having been part of building Elye'wun, knowing really the fragility of this boat.
Kahulhutas, histan suna nuswun, hul mol molok iwas. Hika sip. Kakanop mawa, iskin un.
One of the things that I noticed, particularly the morning of the paddle itself, were the number of ravens that were down at Scorpion on the island of Limu. Ravens are common birds anyway. That particular morning, there seemed to be more ravens than usual.
Dimoloking new, dimoloking new, dimoloking new, dimoloking new. Sukinani, sukinani.
The ancient site of Swaxil, the largest village of the northern Channel Islands, comes alive as Chumash families gather at Scorpion Cove campgrounds to welcome Elye'wun. Most of the families had never been to their island homeland, but a village was born again on Limu, and the spirits of the ancestors rejoiced.
So on this island, I had an opportunity to experience what it is like to be part of a community that identifies with the ocean, with a spirit, and with a community of compassion and love, of balance, being in balance with one another for the whole 3 days. It was amazing.
Activities in the camp flowed naturally as Chumash families visited one another.
It felt so complete and right and open and welcome. It was as though the island had breathed a sigh of relief.
Words and phrases spoken in the old language resonated throughout the campground.
When I was on top of the hill, I saw the tomol coming. At first, I thought it was just a regular boat. I waited for like at least 15 minutes, just staring at it, making sure I didn't want to bring everybody over there and make a mistake, some canoe paddling by. But it wasn't. It was a big tomol. I found this out when I seen a lot of paddles in the air, like signaling that they were coming.
When Elye'wun and the paddlers rounded the bend of Scorpion Cove and raised their paddles in salutation, it was a true homecoming. Time fell away, and the people were whole again. It had been a long and difficult journey over the deepest ocean of loss and sorrow, but we had made it back home.
She called out to Kakunupmawa.
Kakunupmawa! Iskin un.
Kakunupmawa, save your people. They are good people. And Kakunupmawa said, yes. And the people who were dying beneath the ocean, their bodies began to change. Their bodies became sleek and smooth. They could see under the water a long time. And they felt the life coming back into their bodies. And they were jumping out of the water, so happy to be alive. And the descendants of the Molokiwash, the people we now call the Chumash people, they tell this story to this day to remind us that the dolphins are our very close relatives.
Being there on the island by itself gave me pride to be who I am. I get a lot of questions on my ethnicity. Not everybody can tell who I am. You don't go around seeing native tribes like Chumash, and all of a sudden people know who you are, what ethnicity you are. So I get asked what ethnicity I am. Being on that island gives me pride to tell the people who ask me that I am Chumash. I am not just Native American, but I am Chumash, a tribe from Limu.